Cannabis is the most commonly used drug, with 6.5% of adults aged 16 to 59 having used it in the last year. That's around 2.1 million people. And we're forgetting it's illegal here. You can call it weed, puff, ganja, spliff, pot, Mary Jane, HTC,
bruh,
grass, the list goes on. Whatever you call it, it seems to be quite popular in Middlesbrough. With 420, the 20th of April, just gone, I wanted to find out why and how people started smoking and what the benefits and risks were of cannabis. Early last year, I sat down with my friend Matt and asked him whether he thought that cannabis and nicotine were gateway drugs. So, when did you start smoking?
I was 16, I think, thereabouts. Mates used to work like a paper around newsagents, and they'd just occasionally nick a load of cigs, and they just give us them for free. So to start with, I was paying nothing to smoke, and then I got addicted, and then I started having to pay because I moved to Australia.
Wow!
Yeah, so they got me addicted and then fucked off, and I've been in debt ever since.
Oh my god!
Yeah. I think the same thing that made me want to try cigarettes made me want to try drugs. So it's not necessarily that the cigarettes made me try drugs, it's more that curiosity was always there. Like I was never pressured into like doing it. I was never like, when I didn't smoke, I never was bullied for not doing it or anything like that. It's just the fact like you see your mates doing it. It's like one of these things you've been told your whole life not to do. And that in some ways, I guess, just makes you want to try it even more. And the same thing with drugs. Because like people wouldn't do it unless there was a thing about it that was nice. I'm not saying that obviously bad for you and everything, but there are aspects of smoking that maybe not good for your lungs, but I find relaxing. I mean, obviously cannabis has a stronger effect than tobacco, but I think tobacco is a lot more addictive. I don't know the statistics off the top of my head or whatever.
It is known to be, yeah.
Yeah, tobacco is more addictive. Yeah, it's legal. Marijuana calms you down. Actually gives you like an actual full high. Like you're intoxicated from it. Whereas a cigarette, I mean, you could get a nicotine rush that lasts for a few minutes, but it's not quite the same thing. The reason that I started with smoking and then went on to cannabis is probably just because of the levels of illegality. So I was 16 when I started smoking, so I shouldn't have been buying them. So, but it's still kind of easy to get hold of. And then there's the curiosity that drove me to do it. And then weed is obviously illegal, but it's not hard to get. So it's the curiosity that drove me to do it, and it's just how difficult different things are to get hold of.
So you can understand how a normal smoker could move on to cannabis.
Yeah.
But do you think there's a correlation between someone smoking and then sniffing cocaine? Because that's a different action.
Yeah. There's a correlation between the two, but then it would be the same correlation as between cannabis and cigarettes, as in it's not one that makes you don't take one and suddenly think, hey, I wonder what this one's like. You take one because you're that way inclined to curiosity. It's like drugs are this sort of weird realm. Alcohol is like the tip of the iceberg, that's the legal one, but in reality there's this whole other load of them, do all variety. When I think of myself smoking, like in the context of our society, like it's frowned upon and all that, we're trying to eradicate it. But that's only been happening for about past 20 years that people have really been proper on its case. You go past back there to like Native Americans, they've been smoking tobacco out of pipes for fucking years. They'll smoke anything they can find. It's just like it's the same way we eat things to discover things. We smell. It's just another experience, another way of sort of I don't know. It's like scientists discovered gravitational waves by playing around with all these different mad things. If you don't go out and experience these things or play around with stuff, it's just human nature to do it, isn't it?